Love is a high? What the brain does with feelings. What if I told you that falling in love has more in common with a powerful stimulant than with poetry? That your pounding heart, sleepless nights, and endless daydreaming aren't just romance, they're biology. Scientists scanning the brains of people newly in love see something astonishing. The same reward circuits light up as in people chasing their strongest thrills. Your crush, in a very real sense, is your high. But here's the twist. Unlike any external substance, love isn't manufactured in a lab. It's crafted inside your own brain. It can lift you higher than anything else, and it can break you just as hard. In this video, we'll uncover how love hijacks your brain chemistry, why heartbreak feels like physical withdrawal, how cultures shaped our expectations of passion, and how you can actually rewire your mind to move beyond obsession into something deeper, steadier, and more powerful. Stay with me, because by the end, you'll see love not just as a feeling, but as a force that sculpts the human brain itself. Chapter 1. The Chemistry of Love. Love begins not with poetry, but with electricity. When you fall for someone, your brain releases a storm of chemicals. Dopamine floods the reward system, creating anticipation and energy. Norepinephrine spikes, giving you racing thoughts, sweaty palms, and that nervous excitement. Serotonin levels actually drop, which scientists believe explains obsessive thinking, the inability to stop replaying their voice, their smile, that one text. In the first weeks of passion, people often lose appetite, sleep irregularly, and feel almost euphoric. Ask anyone who's been through it. Food doesn't matter. Deadlines fade. The world narrows to one glowing figure. Dr. Helen Fisher, a leading anthropologist, has spent decades studying this state. Her MRI scans show that the ventral tegmental area, the brain's dopamine powerhouse, goes into overdrive. The caudate nucleus, linked with motivation and goal pursuit, also lights up. In plain English, the brain treats love like its highest priority, a survival mission. Think of it this way. Love is evolution's trick. By making pair bonding feel euphoric, nature ensured that humans would seek connection, raise children, and keep the species alive. Without it, civilization might never have taken root. Chapter 2. Obsession and Focus. If Chapter 1 is chemistry, Chapter 2 is obsession. Studies show that people newly in love spend up to 85% of their waking hours thinking about their partner. This isn't just liking someone, it's tunnel vision. The prefrontal cortex, normally responsible for broad decision-making, hands the steering wheel over to the brain's reward system. It's why text messages feel like lifelines, why hours pass in conversation that feels like minutes, why the rest of life, work, studies, even hobbies, suddenly fade into the background. Dr. Fisher's research confirms this. In brain scans, the same circuits that fire in extreme athletes, artists in flow, or gamblers at the slot machine glow brightly in people looking at photos of their beloved. Love makes you hyper-focused. Of course, this obsession isn't always comfortable. Many describe early love as exhilarating, but also destabilizing, a mix of joy and anxiety. It's a roller coaster, highs of connection, lows of uncertainty. Yet this intensity serves a purpose. It bonds us, quickly and powerfully. Nature doesn't want us hesitating when it comes to connection. It wants us all in. Chapter 3. Heartbreak is withdrawal. But what happens when the connection breaks? Anyone who's been through heartbreak knows. It doesn't just hurt emotionally, it hurts physically. Your chest aches, sleep vanishes. You feel restless, nauseous, sometimes even in pain. Neuroscience explains why. The same reward circuits that were flooded with dopamine during love suddenly go into deficit. The brain is still craving the person, replaying memories, searching for the fix. Functional MRI studies show that people rejected in love activate the same brain regions as those experiencing drug withdrawal. Worse, the anterior cingulate cortex, the region that registers physical pain, also lights up. In other words, your brain doesn't just say, "I'm sad," it says, "I'm hurt." Heartbreak literally overlaps with physical pain processing. Take Anna, 29, who described her breakup like this. "It felt like my body was falling apart. My chest was tight, I couldn't eat, and every morning I woke up panicked. It wasn't just sadness, it was survival." The good news? Just as the brain adapts to the absence of a substance, it can adapt to the absence of love. With time and new connections, the reward system rebalances. The agony of heartbreak proves one thing: love isn't just an idea. It's written into the deepest circuits of the brain. Chapter 4. The Cultural Story of Love. Here's where biology meets culture. The chemicals of love may be universal, but the story we tell about them changes across history. In ancient Greece, love was often seen as dangerous, a madness sent by the gods. In the Middle Ages, poets glorified courtly love, idealizing distant, unattainable passion. In modern times, Hollywood sold us on the idea of soulmates and happily ever after. These cultural scripts matter because they shape how our brains interpret feelings. If you're told from childhood that real love means fireworks forever, you may panic when passion cools. If you believe in one true soulmate, you may overlook compatible partners who don't spark immediate obsession. Science suggests that long-term love shifts from passion to attachment. Hormones like oxytocin and vasopressin, released through touch, trust, and shared routines, create a deeper bond. But if your cultural story only values the high of passion, you may miss the richness of lasting connection. Think of it this way: culture writes the lyrics, but biology provides the music. Together they create the soundtrack of human love. Chapter 5. Rewiring Love. Here's the empowering part. The brain can change. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, means that patterns of love, obsession, and even heartbreak are not permanent. Every time you redirect attention, every time you form a new bond, every time you practice self-reflection, you lay down new neural pathways. Practical tools help accelerate this. Journaling gives your prefrontal cortex a way to regulate emotions. Meditation calms the amygdala and reduces rumination. Physical activity boosts endorphins and serotonin, creating natural mood stability. Even small rituals, like replacing doom scrolling with a daily walk or writing one gratitude note per day, slowly shift the reward system. Think of it like retraining a garden. Stop watering one path and grass grows over. Nurture a new path and it becomes the main road. Heartbreak teaches us that the brain can ache, but neuroplasticity teaches us that it can heal. Chapter 6. Beyond the High. If the early stages of love are like a storm, the later stages are like a steady flame. Long-term relationships rely less on dopamine fireworks and more on oxytocin, the hormone of trust and bonding. Touch, laughter, shared routines all strengthen these pathways. The brain shifts from craving novelty to appreciating stability. This doesn't mean love becomes dull. It means it matures. A hand on the shoulder, a private joke, a partner who knows your moods without words, these are subtle highs, quieter, but just as powerful. And here's the mindset shift. Love doesn't have to be an endless chase for passion. It can be a conscious practice, a way of training the brain to value depth, commitment, and growth. Love starts as biology, but it becomes philosophy. Outro, conclusion. So, is love a drug? Yes, in the sense that it hijacks the brain, floods your reward system, and makes you crave connection like nothing else. But also no, because unlike any external substance, love can evolve. It can mature from obsession into attachment, from passion into partnership. The key insight is this: love isn't your enemy. It's not a trap. It's a force of nature, one that shaped human history and continues to shape your brain today. And the choice is yours. Chase only the high, or learn to cultivate the flame. Because in the end, you're not fighting your brain. You're training it